The phrase, "What happens next?" is one of the most powerful tools in storytelling, especially when used in titles or headlines. It is short, simple, and yet immediately stirs the reader's curiosity. This part of the title plays a critical role in hooking attention and encouraging engagement because it leaves the story incomplete, inviting the reader to fill in the blanks or to click to discover the rest. Let's break down why "What Happens Next" works so effectively and how. It shapes the emotional and psychological impact of the title. 1. Creates curiosity and suspense. The human brain is naturally wired to seek closure. When we are presented with an open-ended situation, we feel an almost irresistible urge to find out how it ends. This is called the curiosity gap, a bay. Psychological phenomenon where people feel compelled to seek missing information. By using the phrase, "What happens next?" the title opens a gap in the reader's knowledge. The reader already knows the setup. A brave German shepherd has brought a baby to the hospital. But now they are teased with the idea that something significant, emotional, or surprising is still to come. They must know what it is. 2. Invites the reader into the story rather than simply telling the whole story in the title. This phrase invites the reader to become an active participant. It asks them to wonder, imagine, and guess. Is the baby saved? Does the dog get recognized or awarded? Is there a twist? This small but powerful phrase pulls the reader into the story emotionally, making them more likely to continue reading because they feel personally involved in wanting to know the outcome. 3. Hints at drama, emotion, or surprise. The phrase, "What happens next?" suggests that the story is not over yet. It hints that something important or emotional is still waiting to unfold. This creates an underlying promise of drama, heartwarming moments, or even a surprising twist. In the context of this title, the reader already expects something touching because the first parts involve a dog saving a baby. By adding "What happens next?" the title tells the reader, "You haven't even heard the best part yet." This increases the emotional pull and strengthens the desire to see how the story ends. 4. Universal appeal and versatility. The beauty of What Happens Next is that it works across cultures, languages, and age groups. It is universal because everyone is naturally curious about unfinished stories. It also leaves the door open for various emotional reactions, whether it's joy, tears, shock, or inspiration. It doesn't spoil the ending. Instead, it promises that the ending is worth waiting for. 5. Boosts engagement in modern media in today's fast-paced digital world where people are constantly scrolling. This phrase acts as an engagement magnet. Online content that teases "What happens next?" tends to generate more clicks, shares, and comments because people want to satisfy their curiosity. It's the classic trick used in viral videos, emotional stories, and news headlines. Don't give everything away, make the reader need to know more. In short, "What happens next?" is not just a phrase, it is a psychological trigger that taps into the reader's curiosity, emotions, and desire for closure, making them far more likely to engage with the story. The phrase, "will melt your heart," serves as the emotional payoff in the title. It tells the reader not only what to expect emotionally, but also how they will feel after hearing the story. This part is essential because it promises an emotional journey and signals to the reader that the story is not just informative, it is deeply moving. Every word in this phrase has been chosen to trigger warmth, empathy, and human connection. 1. Emotional hook. Will melt. The phrase starts with "will melt," which is figurative language designed to stir emotion. In everyday language, when we say something will melt your heart, we mean that it will cause such deep warmth, tenderness, and affection that it emotionally softens even the toughest person. The word melt is soft and gentle, and it suggests that the story is heartwarming rather than tragic. It prepares the reader to expect a positive emotional experience, one that leaves them feeling touched, hopeful, or inspired. By promising that the story will melt the reader's heart, the title assures the audience that they are not about to read something violent, shocking, or negative, but rather something comforting, beautiful, and uplifting. 2. Targeting the heart. Your heart. The word heart is one of the most powerful emotional triggers in language. The heart is universally associated with love, compassion, kindness, and deep feeling. When something is described as heart-melting, it goes beyond logic or reason. It touches the innermost emotions of the human experience. By using your heart, the phrase speaks directly to the reader. It personalizes the promise, making it clear that this story will affect them on a personal level. It is no longer just a tale about a dog and a baby, it is an emotional experience that the reader will carry with them. 3. Setting the tone. Positivity and warmth. The phrase will melt your heart signals that the story has a positive emotional outcome. Even though the earlier parts of the title mention a baby in need of help, which could cause worry, this closing phrase reassures the reader that the story leads to a beautiful, uplifting, and emotionally satisfying conclusion. It suggests that the dog's actions are not only heroic, but also profoundly touching, the kind of story that restores faith in kindness, loyalty, and the goodness of life. 4. Encouraging shares and engagement. In today's online world, stories that melt the heart tend to be shared widely. The phrase encourages readers to not only click, but also share the story with others who might appreciate something emotionally uplifting. It creates the expectation of a feel-good moment that people often love to pass along. By using this phrase, the title taps into the reader's desire to experience and spread positivity, which increases both engagement and emotional impact. 5. A promise of transformation. Finally, the phrase will melt your heart does more than describe an emotion, it promises transformation. It suggests that no matter how the reader is feeling now, by the end of the story, they will feel softened, moved, and emotionally touched. This is a powerful promise, one that many readers cannot resist. The phrase, a loyal canine German Shepherd, plays a key role in drawing readers into the story right from the very beginning. This part introduces the main character of the title, a canine German Shepherd, and uses the powerful word loyal to immediately set the emotional tone. Every word in this short phrase has been carefully chosen to create an image in the reader's mind and trigger emotions associated with bravery, devotion, and heroism. 1. The word loyal. The use of the word loyal is crucial because it appeals directly to the reader's emotions. Dogs are often seen as symbols of unconditional loyalty in many cultures. By highlighting loyalty, the title hints that this is no ordinary dog, it is one that embodies trustworthiness, dedication, and perhaps even sacrifice. This creates a sense of warmth and admiration in the reader who may already have positive feelings about dogs in general. Loyalty is not just a random adjective. It suggests that this dog is more than just an animal. It is faithful, dependable, and willing to protect others no matter the cost. This word sets the expectation that the dog is not acting out of instinct alone, but out of a deep sense of duty or love. 2. The term canine. The inclusion of the word canine adds an extra layer of importance and professionalism. A canine dog is not just any pet, it is a trained working dog, often used by police, military, or rescue teams. These dogs undergo rigorous training to help in search and rescue, detection of danger, and protection of lives. By stating that the dog is a canine, the title signals that this animal is capable of extraordinary acts of bravery and intelligence. It immediately paints a picture of a dog that serves humanity and is likely to be involved in a situation that is both dangerous and heroic. The reader understands that this is a story of service, courage, and action. Point 3. The breed. German Shepherd. Choice of breed is also deliberate. The German Shepherd is one of the most recognizable dog breeds in the world, known especially for its roles in law enforcement, military, and service work. German Shepherds are famous for being highly intelligent, obedient, and protective. They are often seen in movies, television, and real-life news stories as hero dogs who save lives or defend the innocent. The mention of German Shepherd strengthens the idea that this dog is both capable and beloved. For many readers, the breed itself triggers images of nobility, bravery, and compassion. It also helps the reader visualize the dog as strong, majestic, and determined animal. 4. The emotional impact by combining loyal, canine, and German Shepherd in one phrase. The title creates an immediate emotional connection. It assures the reader that this story involves not just an animal, but a heroic being with heart, purpose, and bravery. The loyalty of a dog, especially one trained to protect and serve, is a theme that resonates deeply with people, making them eager to know what this remarkable dog has done. This part of the title, Brings a Baby to the Hospital, is where the story truly takes shape. It introduces the action that grabs attention and stirs emotions. The words here are simple, but together they create a vivid and surprising mental picture. They raise immediate questions in the reader's mind and create an emotional pull that makes people want to learn more. Let's break down each key element. 1. The action. Brings. The word brings is an active verb that signals movement, intention, and purpose. This is not a passive event. It suggests that the dog is deliberately taking action to help someone in need. The choice of the word brings instead of something less active like finds or stays with implies that the dog is personally involved in saving the baby. It adds a sense of urgency and importance, suggesting that the dog is not just present, but is the one making the difference. This action immediately raises curiosity. How can a dog bring a baby to the hospital? Why is the dog doing this? Where are the baby's parents? These unspoken questions create suspense and pull the reader into the story. 2. The object. A baby. The mention of a baby takes the emotional level of the title to another height. Babies naturally trigger deep feelings of care, protection, and vulnerability in people. We are biologically wired to respond emotionally when we hear about a baby in danger or in need of help. By adding a baby to the sentence, the title introduces an innocent life at risk. It makes the reader immediately concerned for the baby's safety, health, and survival. The idea of a helpless infant relying on a dog for rescue is powerful and heart-tugging. It suggests that this is not just a normal situation. Something has gone seriously wrong for a baby to need the help of an animal instead of people. 3. The destination, to the hospital. The phrase to the hospital adds both urgency and hope to the story. A hospital is universally understood as a place where people go when they are hurt, sick, or in need of help. It confirms that the situation is serious, likely life-threatening, and that action must be taken quickly. At the same time, a hospital also represents a place where healing and rescue happen. This introduces the idea that, although something bad has happened, there is still hope for survival or recovery. 4. The emotional power of the whole phrase. When you put these words together, brings a baby to the hospital, the reader instantly visualizes a heroic rescue. It is shocking, unusual, and touching. A dog, not a human, is the one acting as the protector and savior. This reversal of roles, where the animal saves the human, triggers a strong emotional response. It touches on themes of compassion, bravery, and the bond between humans and animals. It makes people stop, think, and feel, and that is the heart of a powerful story hook. At first glance, the dash may seem like a simple punctuation mark, but in the context of a title, especially one meant to grab attention, spark curiosity, and trigger emotion, it plays a powerful and purposeful role. This small mark can completely change how readers experience and react to a sentence. In fact, the dash is not just a separator. It is a storytelling tool that shapes the tone, pacing, and emotional impact of the title. 1. Creating a pause for suspense. One of the most important effects of the dash is that it forces a pause in the reader's mind. This pause creates a moment of suspense or breathlessness, making the reader feel as if something important is coming next. The eye naturally stops at the dash, and in that brief silence, curiosity builds. It is similar to the dramatic pause used in speeches or storytelling, when the speaker deliberately waits before delivering the next powerful line. That moment of anticipation makes the following words seem even more impactful. For example, without the dash, a canine German Shepherd brings a baby to the hospital and makes everyone cry. With the dash, a canine German Shepherd brings a baby to the hospital. This will make you cry. The version with the dash feels stronger because the break builds tension and highlights the emotional punchline. 2. Signaling a shift in focus. The dash also works as a visual and mental signal that the focus of the title is about to change. The first part tells what happened, the action or event. The second part, after the dash, tells why it matters emotionally or how it will affect the reader. In this case, before the dash, we have a shocking and heroic action, a dog bringing a baby to safety. After the dash, we are promised an emotional reaction, tears, heartache, or warmth. The dash serves as a bridge between action and emotion, allowing both parts to shine without mixing them together in one rushed sentence. 3. Controlling the readers. Emotional flow pacing is crucial in storytelling, even in titles. The dash allows the writer to control the speed and flow of information. Without it, the title might feel too fast or crowded. The dash gives the reader a moment to process the first emotional image, the dog and the baby, before delivering the emotional image, the dog and the baby, before delivering the baby. Emotional hook, the promise of tears or heartwarming feelings. In the fast-scrolling world of social media, that split-second pause can make the difference between someone scrolling past or stopping to click. 4. Adding drama and impact visually. The dash looks stronger and more dramatic than a comma or period. It signals that the second part of the sentence is important, surprising, or emotionally charged. It sets up the reader to expect something big, whether it's a twist, a powerful feeling, or a heart-stirring moment. It's no coincidence that headlines, movie titles, and viral stories often use dashes to add that final dramatic touch. They are like an unspoken whisper saying, "Wait for it. Something is coming." In summary, the dash is not just punctuation, it is a storytelling device that builds suspense, separates action from emotion, and amplifies the overall impact of the title. It invites the reader to pause, feel, and lean in closer to discover what happens next.